Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
The Ohio Board of Trustees approved the $2 million purchase of a former fraternity house. Good evening, I'm Mackenzie Pyatt.
And I'm Sean Neidig. Thanks for joining us. More than 23,000 students at Ohio University can vote on concealed carry on campus. Until 11:59 p.m. tonight, students can decide if concealed carry weapons should be allowed or not on campus at Ohio University. Student Senate is organizing the referendum and wants as many students as possible to participate in the vote. Chandra Simmons, a business graduate student, has already voted. She does not support the referendum.
I voted against the conceal and carry because I feel that after attending this school for 5 years, the current climate, it's not ready for students or anyone to carry around a gun.
Marine Sergeant and Technical Operations student Scott Fisher also voted. He is hopeful the concealed carry is passed.
I'm for concealed carry because it's our Second Amendment right, first of all, and second of all, make this campus a much safer campus because someone who wants to shoot up the campus possibly, like we've seen in the past in other campuses, would be less likely to do so if there's a possibility of a student being armed.
The Board of Trustees will make the final decision regarding concealed carry on campus. They are expected to follow the student decision.
The Ohio University Board of Trustees approved the $2 million purchase of a building at 4 University Terrace that used to serve as a fraternity house. WOUB's Josh Gregory is live in the newsroom with more. Josh?
That's right, Mackenzie. Board of Trustee members said though there are no concrete plans for the building, they anticipate the university using this house for more bed space, especially if it's necessary, because the building can hold approximately 36 beds. What makes this building interesting is its history. The property was used as the fraternity house for Delta Tau Delta before the fraternity was suspended for 5 years back in 2009 for hazing. The university then leased the property, and the house went up for sale in 2011. Athletes in Action, a Christian athletes group, took over the house later that year. The facility was appraised at a higher value this time around, $2.3 million to be exact, because of recent updates to the building. John Wharton, an OU alumnus and donor, was the realtor managing this sale, and it is unclear if Ohio Realty, the company Wharton works for, is still managing this property. It's also unclear when the university plans to make this purchase. As of now, according to Ohio University's housing websites, the university owns 41 residence halls and 1 apartment complex. And with that, I'll throw it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Josh.
A larger portion of taxpayer dollars is being requested this year, but Athens City Council members aren't ready to commit to the proposal just yet. The Economic Development Council is requesting $5,000 more for project strategies, but the council wants transparency on where the money would go. Update on the city pool and plans for additional parking were also discussed at the meeting last night. Council members also announced the International Street Fair will be held April 15th, the weekend before Numbers Fest. The date for Athens Beautification Day will fall on April 9th to avoid conflicts with the students studying for finals. In Athens, Mayor Steve Patterson will review his first year in office and address questions and concerns during a town hall meeting tonight. This is the second annual meeting focusing on goals, achievements, and future plans. Questions should be submitted orally or written. The meeting will be held from 6:30 until 8 p.m. in rooms B and C of the Athens Community Center.
A local bus driver is under investigation after allegedly tampering with her bus in an effort to delay protesters from attending the Women's March on Washington, D.C. this past Saturday. According to the Athens News, a group of about 40 women were headed to Washington, D.C. for the march when they say that their bus driver intentionally drained the bus's battery the night before. Athens resident Sierra Crenshaw, who was supposed to go on the trip, posted this on Facebook describing the ordeal. The female bus driver also posted on Facebook about going to D.C. and asking her friends for advice on if she was carrying protesters. After some of the bus driver's friends offered their opinions, the bus driver posted, quote, thinking about the serpentine belt just broke, needs 24-hour roadside service. After seeing the Facebook posts, Athens resident Chandra Tremblay and other marchers did not feel safe getting on the bus.
Basically, there were just a lot of things that concerned us about getting on the bus with her. Though out of 55 of us, one woman had canceled her ticket ahead of time 23 people rode on the bus to D.C., so 31 of us did not feel comfortable getting on the bus with her. It's very disappointing because we were going to try to stand up for her rights as well as ours.
Now, the protesters who did make the trip to Washington, D.C. on the bus made it back safely. Whether or not the protesters who got off the bus will be refunded or not is still unclear at the moment.
Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. It is 42 degrees here in Athens under cloudy skies, which is decently cooler than it was this past weekend when we were at 64 degrees on Sunday, so it's a considerable difference thanks to a low pressure that moved through our area, and we can see that the temperatures throughout the region are around the mid to low 40s, with 44 in New Lexington as well as Cambridge, with the lows being in Chillicothe at 41 degrees. When we look through the night, we can see temperatures will dip into the mid 30s with 43 at 8, 40 by midnight, and 38 by 4 a.m. under cloudy skies. So if you plan on going out tonight, you might need a little heavier jacket than you have in the past couple of days, but lucky there will be no rain tonight.
All right, thanks, Jenny. The ramp from U.S. Route 33 East to I-270 North will be closed for anywhere from 4 to 7 days after it caught fire yesterday. A tanker truck crashed yesterday morning and fuel spilled and caught a section of the road on fire. The truck crashed after the driver lost control of the vehicle and one person was killed. All of the ramps are open and both directions of US 33 and I-270 are open. The detour is US 33 East to I-270 South to Tuttle Crossing to I-270 North.
State investigators are ramping up their efforts to end human trafficking by taking a closer look at current statistics and data. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation will begin analyzing a missing children database to look for any indications of human trafficking.
This is something that we, rely to a great extent on the public to identify for us. So what we're really doing today is going beyond that and looking at some data and seeing how we can at least get some indication that someone may be being trafficked.
DeWine says this is an added responsibility for current investigators and does not require additional hiring.
West Virginia's new Secretary of the Department of Education and the Arts, Gail Manchin, has fired 4 of the 12 members of the office's central office staff, leaving 8 full-time employees. According to a statement, the cuts were made to make office work more effective and efficient. The positions terminated our Chief Financial Officer, Special Assistant to the Secretary, Special Projects Coordinator, and Accounting Technician. The City of Huntington is looking at a way to cut its budget, and Mayor Steve Patterson met with City Council last night. Patterson said that he and department heads will continue to discuss ways to reel in spending. Meanwhile, firefighters and police officers are fearing layoffs. The council postponed the purchase of 3 new police cruisers. And ideas for extending the tolls the entire length of I-77 from Parkersburg to Bluefield, West Virginia were being discussed, but the Wood County Commissioners said at a meeting Monday they are not interested in adding tolls to the current highway. The West Virginia Turnpike currently generates $85 million annually, but the tolls are set to be removed in 2019.
Belltown, West Virginia council members named a new police chief and demoted the former chief, who is the subject of a federal investigation. Bell Mayor Buck Chestnut said Robert Glenn was named the new police chief at a town meeting, and the former chief of 10 years, Derek Cox, was demoted to paroleman. Additional information about the details of the investigation is not available at this time. President Donald Trump met with auto executives today to discuss domestic jobs.
And he signed an executive order pushing the construction of 2 pipelines forward. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
The Keystone XL and Dakota Access oil pipeline projects are moving forward. President Donald Trump signed executive actions earlier today, saying the U.S. would approve the pipelines while also seeking a better deal. The action is likely to cause more protests. Protesters are worried over the environmental impact of the pipelines. In December, 2 military veterans from Athens joined thousands to stand against the pipeline at Standing Rock. The protests were there delayed the plan, while former President Obama denied the Keystone XL construction in 2015.
President Trump is pushing automakers to build more cars in the country. In trying to keep his promise to bring back jobs to the U.S., the president met with the heads of Ford, General Motors, and Fiat Chrysler earlier today, vowing to cut taxes and regulations in return for making cars in the U.S. Trump did not discuss penalties the companies could face if they continue to build overseas. During his campaign, Trump threatened to impose heavy tariffs on imported vehicles.
While President Trump was busy at the White House, votes for 3 of his cabinet nominees have been postponed. Kristen Holmes with the latest on President Trump's cabinet nominees.
It was another busy day for President Trump's cabinet nominees.
I'm honored to have been nominated to serve as the next secretary.
Congressman Tom Price, up for Health and Human Services Secretary, faced his second Senate hearing, defending himself on claims of ethical misconduct.
That everything that I did was ethical, above board, legal, and transparent.
After a memo from the Senate Finance Committee indicated it found some red flags in his finances, and facing questions about Donald Trump's executive order on the Affordable Care Act.
You ducked the question. Will you guarantee that no one will lose coverage under the executive order?
I guarantee you that the individuals that lost coverage under the Affordable Care Act, we will commit to making certain that they don't lose coverage under whatever replacement plan comes forward.
South Carolina Representative Mick Mulvaney was also in the hot seat.
And it's the OMB director's responsibility to tell you and the president the truth.
The nominee for director of the Office of Management and Budget also on the defense, after reports he hadn't paid more than $15,000 in payroll taxes for a household employee.
We hired someone to help my wife take care of the children. In our mind, she was a babysitter.
Former Wrestling Entertainment CEO Linda McMahon also on the Hill today, as nominee to lead the Small Business Administration. Votes were originally scheduled on the nominees for Attorney General, Energy Secretary, and Interior Secretary today, but those votes have been postponed. In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
The Attorney General vote will be delayed for 1 week. There is no new date scheduled for the Energy Secretary or Interior Secretary nominees.
On Wall Street today, stocks increased all across the board. Here a look at stocks of local interest. And new information shows that multitasking may not be as effective as you think. That story's still ahead.
Is winter coming, and is there a potential for snow in the next couple days? That plus my extended forecast next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I was like this. Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Jenny Gurecki. Currently in Athens, it is a lovely 42 degrees under cloudy skies. The winds are out of the west at 10 miles an hour. The dew point is at 42, which makes the relative humidity at 100%. So if you're experiencing some frost or fog or mist, that's totally normal. Looking at the region, we see temperatures are around the same as it is currently here in Athens, with the warmest being in New Lexington as well as Ironton. Going into our almanac, we see our official high today was 43 degrees, with our normal being around 39. So we were a couple degrees above average, but we do see this morning's low was well above average compared to our normal at 14 degrees. And we can see as we go through the night, we still won't get down to 14 degrees where we should be. We will see the low dip down into around mid-30s under cloudy skies, and we will get to an official low of 37 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. And I have to say that is where we should be around this time of year instead of the normal low that we were experiencing the past couple days of like 42. And we can see the same thing around our region, with the warmest being down here in Ripley at 38 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Our precip, we can see a low warm front that will come through our area tomorrow night, which will bring rain and potential for snow as the cold front comes in right behind it. So yes, there is a potential for snow coming tomorrow night into Thursday, excuse me. Looking at our bus stop tomorrow morning, we will see 37 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, so you might need to grab a lightweight jacket for the morning, because we will see it will warm up to around the mid-50s, which is still 20 to 30 degrees above average of where we will be. So it will be mostly cloudy, above average. We will have light winds, so if it's 56, it will definitely feel like 56. And we can see the same thing around our region, with the warmest being in our southern viewing area of Ironton under mostly cloudy skies. As we look ahead, we see the chance of rain will not come into our area till around 10 to midnight tomorrow night. So your commute, everything will be fine for tomorrow with a high of 56, which will be our warmest as we go throughout the rest of the day, or the week, excuse me. But we will see the rain showers linger through Thursday to Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, you see we will be around the mid-30s, so not much of a warm-up, but this is where we should be. And we will see a dry spell coming into the early parts of next week with highs in the mid to upper 30s. Over to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Jenny. Multitasking is a second nature skill in today's way of life, but it may not be as helpful or productive as we think. Mary Maloney has more.
Contrary to popular belief, multitasking doesn't always save time. In most cases, it will probably take you longer to finish 2 or more projects than it would to finish each one separately. Experts say that when switching between tasks, you're more likely to make mistakes, especially if what you're working on involves a lot of critical thinking. Researchers from the University of California say it's not only the physical act of multitasking that can stress you out, but also the consequences. Bombing an exam or failing to perform at work can lead to self-esteem issues or even depression. Multitasking can even affect how much you eat. Eating while distracted means you may eat too much too quickly, or that you won't fully remember the feeling of eating and being full. Because of that, you might be picking up the fork again too soon. Experts say each task requires a specific mindset, and once you get started, you should commit to the end. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Even with a busy schedule, it may be helpful to take one task at a time in order to relieve added stress.
Hey everyone, I'm Danny Dean. Coming up in sports. It's all about basketball. We got the band, we got the studio. I'm here live from the condo telling you what's going on before the game starts. Ohio takes on Toledo. They're looking to extend their past record. We're going to be talking about some local high school basketball. In WOUB Newswatch, stay tuned. Here's what's coming up next on your local television provider.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back, everyone. Big game tonight in the Convocation Center. The Bobcats are back in Athens to take on conference rival Toledo. Danny Dean is live at the Convo. And Danny, how's it looking tonight for the Bobcats?
Well, Sean, it's an exciting exciting atmosphere inside the Convo. The Bobcats are coming off a big road win against Northern Illinois from Saturday, and this added fan energy is definitely going to help them tonight. It's not a surprise considering the Bobcats led the MAC in attendance 8 out of the 10 last season. And tonight the Bobcats are looking to extend their MAC record to 5-2. Toledo is second ranked in offense. They're averaging 82 points a game. So the Tony Campbell out for this season. They're really going to need a Deron Simmons and some of the younger players to step it up. It's likely the freshman forward Jason Carter will be part of Ohio's starting five tonight. This weekend, Carter proves that he is ready for the job. And his first career start, he shined with a double-double, and not to mention that's his second double-double of the past 3 games. Sophomore Doug Taylor will also be an anchor for the Bobcats. Yesterday, Coach Sophomore said he wants to see Carter and Taylor playing side by side so they can be Ohio's two-headed monster. And like I said earlier, Deron Simmons, he is going to need to show up once again. Saturday, he led all scores with 21 points. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and Ohio is looking to make a strong run in the MAC. We'll see if they can start up another win streak. And tonight, like I said, let's keep the basketball rolling with a look back at the results from last night's girls' high school basketball. The Alexander Lady Spartans proved that the team should be afraid to play in the alley. Alexander rocked Benton County at the Benton County Lady Vikings in a 68-25 victory. Out of Nelsonville, the Lady Buckeyes made a statement and took down Meigs 56-40. And the Waterford Lady Wildcats proved why they are the #1 ranked team in Division 4, knocking off Federal Hawking 63-23. And tonight, the boys take their turn on the court. On WAB's Hardwood Heroes, they are covering the TVC matchup. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes host the #1 team in the TVC Ohio, their conference, Benton County, while the River Valley Vikings head out for the Plains to take on the Athens Bulldogs. In the TVC Hawking, Belpre will host the Miller Falcons, and the Eastern Eagles will go up against Federal Hawking Lancers. And for all those updates, you can check out Hardwood on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. And let's turn our attention to the land. Life isn't too perfect for the reigning champs. The Cavs lost their 5 of their last 7 games, and LeBron James put the Cavs offense on blast yesterday after losing to the Pelicans, even though they were without their star, Anthony Davis.
Sorry about that. It's a little loud in the convo, as you can see, but as Danny was saying, despite the Pelicans playing without star Anthony Davis last night, LeBron said his team lacks a playmaker, and he directed his frustrations at general manager David Griffin. And so we're going to see if the Cavs will look back in championship form. Their next game's tomorrow night against the Kings. So thank you, Danny, for joining us. Sorry about those technical difficulties. And now over to Jenny for some final weather.
Tonight in Athens, it will be a chilly 37 degrees, but that is where we should be around this time of the year under mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 0 to 5 miles per hour. But we will warm up about 20 degrees from our low to a beautiful, wonderful 56 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, still seeing those above average temperatures for this time of the year. And we can see our last day of above average temperatures will be tomorrow. So if you can get out and enjoy it, it will be a tremendous day. And we can see the cooler temperatures come in as more rain and potentially even snow comes into the picture late in the week. Back over to you guys.
Thanks, Jenny. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Mackenzie Pyatt.
And I'm Sean Neidig. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime, WOUB.org. Have a great night, everyone, and go Bobcats.